Boom. Let's look at the monsters. So, monsters are going to be an odd one to rank. I feel like Doom 2 specifically, has the best roster of enemies of any shooter ever. In my opinion. I think that there's... some other shooters might compare for weapons. Like, I think Unreal Tournament 2003, 2004 has a comparable, just like, great selection of weapons. But monsters, I don't think anything else touches. So, let's see. Some of these are going to be so hard to rank. Okay, let's get the Z tier. Icon of Sin. I don't hate the Icon of Sin as a boss in Doom 2. I think it's okay. You know, it's not my favorite. But I think it was, you know, it was impactful when you saw it the first time. It felt epic the first time. The issue is, one, it's annoying to fight. Just timing that blast and then fighting randomness. But two, it is... anytime you play a WAD and then they end with an Icon of Sin, you're like, ah, God, fucking again? Again? I would rather do something else. So I'm going to place it at Z tier because all of these other monsters, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm cool seeing them in a WAD. I'm cool fighting them. But Icon of Sin, I'm just like, ah, God, again? So I'm going to go with that. So D tier. I think we have to put the SS in the D tier. Just because I don't really think they have much of a use. I don't think they have much of a use in Doom. Like, arguably, you could use them more to kind of have the role of a weaker chain gunner. I think one of the things I think that Doom suffers from, especially in modding, is an underutilization of weaker enemies, weaker weapons. I think things start feeling a lot tankier and people just throw the tanky stuff. Like, you start seeing people say, like, ah, fuck imps, let's just use revenants. And so I do like the weaker roster of enemies because I think it changes which weapons are viable, right? It makes things like the chain gun a lot more fun to use. It makes things like the base shotgun a lot more fun to use. And it also gives you a different gameplay experience of having more restricted weapons and having those be viable. So I think this could be useful, but you just never ever see it. And it also is just so thematically different. So I'll put it at D. But you know, if you sprite swapped it, whatever, like I could see this being better. Okay. Some of these are going to be so hard to rank. Oh God. Some of these are going to be really hard to rank. Because a lot of this is just clearly personal opinion. Okay. Let's get an S tier. Do I want to put them as S tier? I think I do. Everyone hates chain gunners. But I think they serve a very, very, very good purpose. So one of the things I like the most about Doom is that I think that a lot of these monsters have really useful different functions for how they force you to approach combat, right? And on the if we simplify it down to the most basic level, you kind of have hit scanners and projectiles, right? And so hit scanners are often force you into cover. You have high target priority to get rid of them. Whereas projectile guys, you can leave a little bit later because you can dodge, right? So, projectile guys force you to move. Hit scanners force you to hide or force you to target them ASAP. The thing I like a lot about the chain gunner is that I think with a lot of the later monsters that were added, there became a focus on mid to high tier monsters that can soak up a lot of damage. I like that the chain gunner is an amazingly high priority enemy that dies quickly. I think that that is a very good addition to the game. That you see it, you're like, I need to take care of this now. You take care of it and it's gone. I really like their addition for the flow of combat. Clearly, things like Plutonia and On made them very popular to pair with Archviles and create just death walls. And I think they can be misused, but I really, really like them. Okay. Shotgunner? I think I have to put them at A, honestly. Once again, I like them being a relatively high priority. They can deal a lot more damage than you suspect. Like, you often think of them as fodder, but they can actually be quite damaging. And fundamentally, they're just in, they're also really fun to kill with chain guns. So, God, I wonder if I should bump all of these down a level. I don't know. Am I thinking of A as the base? I kind of view shotgunners and imps. You know what? Let's bump this down to B. And let's also put imps at B. I might change those. But I feel like if you boil Doom 1 down to, like, the base enemies, like, these two kind of define the base flow of combat, right? One has more target priority, hit scan, forces you into cover, forces you to target them, and the other is, you know, your bullet hell tool. I will likely change those. I'll only know more when I fill out this list. The thing about imps that I like is, one, you can place infinite imps, and doesn't just become unfair, right? Like, if you place a room with 4,000 shotgunners, you're just fucked. You step in and you're dead, right? Because they're just gonna hit scan you and you're dead. Whereas an imp, you can have a giant room with 4,000 imps at the center, and you can win that fight. So they're extremely fair. And the thing I like about them, I'm bad at slaughter maps. I haven't played many slaughter maps, but watching some videos of slaughter map play, the thing I like about them is I like pairing them with stronger enemies, because a big part of Doom combat at higher levels clearly becomes use of space, use of movement. And so the thing about imps is they're very weak, but placing a lot of them can take up a lot of space, but it's also a lot of space you can clear out really quickly. And so it's interesting placing them with higher tier. Like we saw it the other day where I fucked up. I was in a room, there was a wall of imps, and there were 3 walls of revenants. And stupid me, I'm like, let's start attacking the revenants. No! The answer was to attack the imps, right? Even though imps have a lower combat, like, target priority because they're easier to dodge, the thing about imps is you can clear that out and create space to get away from the revenants. So I really, really like how they are used. Okay, the demon. I like demons a lot. I think demons are a very, very interesting wrench thrown into the mix. If I were to, like, basically condense my idea of Doom down to 3 monsters, it would be these 3, right? I might even put demon at A tier, because the thing about the demon, the wrench the demon throws, is that if we look at this, okay, the imp, the Baron of Hell, Cacodemon, Cyber Demon, Hell Knight, Lost Soul, Mancubus, Arachnitron, Pain Elemental indirectly, and Revenant. All of those monsters I list, their fundamental characteristic is that they force you to move. And the Pinky Demon's fundamental characteristic is that it impedes your movement. These pair very well with other monsters. We saw today in Monuments of Mars, they paired... it was so mean, but they paired demons with Archviles. So you have Archviles that need you to get out of sight, and you have demons that exist to take up space and block your path. I would have lowered demons in Doom 1 a bit, I think, because I think in Doom 1 they were a little too tanky because you didn't have the super shoddy. But the fact that you can one-shot them with the super shotgun, I think adds a lot. I really, really like that pacing. So I'm going to put demons at A for now. I think that these... Oh, God. Maybe I should put these up at A. I don't know. These are just... These define the game for me. Okay. And everything else, for me, these three are the game. And then everything else is spice. That just, like, complicates it, makes it more interesting. Okay. Okay. There's a couple that I'm going to have a really hard time with. I don't know what to do with Cacodemon. I'm going to have a hard time with Pain Elemental. Some of these are tough. Okay. I'm going to put Spectre at... I'm going to put it at C. I don't know. C or D? The thing with Spectre is... fundamentally, they play the same as demons. But demons, you can kind of see the plan. You know, you see the combat space and you try to figure it out. Whereas I feel like Spectres kind of fundamentally only exist to trap you. Right? It's kind of like, oh, you're in a dark sewer. You can't really see it. And then you, there's a Mancubus at the end. You shoot a rocket at the Mancubus. But there's a Spectre in front of you. You blew yourself up. Like, they're less interesting to me in a way because they feel more about just kind of trapping you in terms of like visibility. So I don't know. I don't know. There's somewhere in there. Okay. You know what? Let's bump these up. Okay. Zombie Man. We'll put it at B tier. Zombie Men are fun to kill. They can be weirdly dangerous depending on how they're used. I've been killed by Zombie Men a few times on stream. Anytime there's a hit scanner, it's always dangerous. I mean, clearly, like, with fast monsters enabled, they're quite dangerous. They're kind of a default enemy. I inherently like some of the lower tier enemies a little bit more, just because I think it gives you more options of weapons to use, which I think can make it a bit more fun. Most of these guys that we've placed, except for maybe the Pinky Demon and Spectre, like, Chain Gun is super viable to use in all settings, whereas, you know, Chain Gun works against them, but, it slows shit down against the demons. But I think I'll do that for now. Okay. Okay. Hell Knight. I don't know what I should do with Hell Knight. I'm either going to put Hell Knight at A below Imp or high B. The reality is, most of these monsters have different functions, right? Most of these monsters have different functions, but a few of them have the same function. And Imp and Hell Knight really have the same function. The only thing that differs is Hell Knight... Imps start becoming pushovers based on your weapon set, right? As you progress to a certain point, Imps become the fodder that their only real function is to, like, create a wall that you can take care of quickly, but just like, another aspect that exists in the mix of battle. Hell Knights actually scale up quite well, but they aren't tedious. You can, like, 3-shot them, right? With a super shotgun. So they're a little meaty. Yeah, I think they were a very, very, very important addition. I don't get excited about the Hell Knight because in Doom 1 you had the Baron of Hell. And the Hell Knight is an easier Baron of Hell But I think it was an important addition because Barons of Hell are fundamentally annoying. So let's talk about the Baron of Hell. In Doom 1, I would have put the Baron of Hell higher. In Doom 1, I think maybe I'd put the Baron of Hell like here. Because the thing about the Baron of Hell in Doom 1 is that you didn't have as complex of a mid-tier monster arsenal, right? You didn't have Archviles, Mancubi, Arachnitrons, Revenants. And so in Doom 1, I think that these were a more complicated like thing in the mix, right? But now that we have this roster filled up with a bunch of more interesting options than Barons of Hell, we have to look at what is their function. What does a Baron of Hell do that an Imp or a Hell Knight can't do? And the answer is take a lot of fucking bullets. And so fundamentally, the point of a Baron of Hell is to absorb your ammo. Not a fan. Not a fan. It's like, you know, we saw that trap today. We have the Revenants up on we're in a tiny walled off area. We have the Revenants up on pedestals shooting their high damage rockets at us, but you know, they die quickly. We have some Hell Knights, and then we have Barons of Hell trapped with me. And what is the Baron of Hell's purpose? It's to kind of like suffocate me because I can't mow it down fast enough and I'm in this narrow space. And it just exists to be there as I'm shooting my best things and for it to survive. Not a fan. Okay. I would rather fight the SS than the Barons of Hell. Okay. Pain Elemental. We'll leave Pain Elemental. Cacodemon. I'm going to put Cacodemon at low B. I think Cacodemons are interesting. Because, one, they kind of take a little bit of the same function as demons. Especially when you don't see it as much when I play Doom, because I'm playing on GZ Doom, and I'm playing it with the monsters not having infinitely tall height, right? But if you're actually playing in base Doom, all these monsters are infinitely tall. And so what that means is that if you have a wall of demons below you, you can't run and jump over them, right? They catch you and you fall down and they maul you to death. And if you have a wall of Cacos above you, you can't run under them. They're going to kill you. So, a big part of Cacos is... The Cacos are weird because they're kind of like... they're like a mix between demons and imps, and then they fly. So, on a projectile level, I don't really think they're that interesting. And the other thing I don't like about them that much is I find them kind of damage sponges. I find that there's a lot of... We saw it today, where I was in the lava area, and all of these Cacos came down and started, coming through the entrance to this volcano. And you're just like, I'm just like pumping rockets at them, and it's like, okay, come on. I think that Cacos can sometimes get utilized in ways that are annoying, where they just become damage sponges. That being said, the thing that is interesting about them is that they are demons that are good at ambushing. If you have like windows up above you, they can kind of come and ambush you. And they inhibit your movement. They are an interesting monster. And also in my head, I don't know why, but Cacodemons are kind of like the face of Doom. I don't know what it is, but something about them. So I'm going to put Cacodemons at B. You know what? I'm going to place it above a Zombie Man, because the Zombie Men are more fun to fight, but Cacos, I think you could take Zombie Men out of the game, and it wouldn't change that much. I feel like if you took Cacos out, it would change quite a bit. Right? Yeah, like... I feel like anything... You know what? I'm wondering if I should drop this to C. I don't know. I like them. You know what? I was going to say anything like C or below here, you could take out of the game and it wouldn't change much. That being said, I think sometimes it's worth having things that are fun, right? You play these games to have fun. Fuck it. Okay. Now, what do we have? Some of these are so hard to rank. I feel like I'm going to have a really bloated A. Just remember, I'm putting these in order, in my opinion. I think maybe I should put imps higher than shot. Yeah, I'm going to put imps higher than shotgunners, I think. Although shotgunners give you that sweet shotgun ammo. Okay. The only thing I realize is that all of my base projectile throwers I have below demons. I think part of the reason why these are lower is because there's other options. But honestly, like, it's probably more important. Okay. I'm going to view it this way. It's more important that you have, in my opinion, projectiles than hit scan. I think both of these are important, but I think projectiles are more important than hit scan. And then I think that this is spice to the mix. Okay. I don't like this. I don't like this list. Okay. Come on. Whatever. I'm wondering if I should fan some of these out. Okay, where we get kind of interesting here is that all of these monsters have quite different uses. So the remaining monsters are all quite there's not really any redundancy going on here. Lost Souls are a really hard one. Here's what I'm going to do. I think Lost Souls, what they add to the game is higher than C. I just find them annoying. Basically, they just overwhelm you. They force you to move and they overwhelm you. And Pain Elementals is a really hard one for me. Because I hate Pain Elementals. I fucking hate... I want to put them down here. Okay? I want to. They are... I find them such an unfun enemy. But they're so useful to what they add to in the flow. They are a good enemy. I hate them. I really hate them. But they are a good enemy. They become very high target priority. They don't directly damage you, but they can really quickly make things go from manageable to very out of control. Especially if you get rid of the Lost Soul limit. So I hate them. I hate them so much. I would prefer to play WADs that didn't have one. Unless they give you a BFG. But they're so... They do something different. And they are very useful to the flow of combat. So I'm simultaneously grading it. I'm pulling it down because of how much I hate them. But I'm pushing them up because they clearly deserve a higher rank than I'm giving them. I just fucking can't stand them. Okay. Oh, God. Spider Mastermind. I'm going to put Spider Mastermind there. Spider Masterminds are an odd one. Because they're the one hit scan exception in the game. In this game, hit scan exists to be a high target priority, but you can mow them down. I feel like a hit scan that absorbs a lot of damage is not as fun in the sense that it forces you to stay in cover. And that being said, they are very good for infighting. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop this down. Because I feel like everything here up has more of a place in Doom. Everything from C up. They are very exploitable because their sprites are so large. So you can kind of shoot them and they can't shoot you. They tend not to be super tough, but they can be placed in areas where they're devastating. So I don't like them in the sense that they force you to hide in a way that these don't, right? Because these three, you can, you see them, you have rockets, you mow them down, problem solved. These ones, it's like, okay, well, now I just have to bunker. So I'm going to put that at low C. Okay. Arachnotron. Here's where I'm going to bloat A big time, okay? A is about to get bloated. I like Arachnotrons a lot. I really like them. I feel like Arachnotrons are underutilized. The thing I like about Arachnotrons a lot is that I think that... So, Imps, Hell Knights, Barons of Hell, and Cacodemons, they're all projectile guys, but you know, they shoot things right at you and you dodge, right? Arachnotrons are a little bit different because they shoot at you, you dodge, but then they are basically shooting a beam, and so they're kind of forcing your dodge direction. So, I think Arachnotrons change the combat formula more than like Hell Knights do. Hell Knights fill an important role that the game was missing, but Arachnotrons add something new to combat, which is they are forcing the flow in a specific direction. They can kind of corner you. You can technically like dodge through, but it's tough, and I'm not that good. So I like them a lot. I also really like Mancubus a lot, honestly. I don't know where to put these. You know what? I like these guys. Let's pump them up. I'm going to sort them a bit based on how interesting I find their mix to combat. So I think that these guys are more important. I like Mancubus a lot. The thing I like about Mancubus is that they give you a little bit of that feeling of you have a blur sphere and now projectiles are unpredictable. Obviously, their attacks are predictable technically, but you place a lot of them and all of a sudden you have just a wall of death in front of you. They're very good for causing infighting because they, you know, their attacks just stray. So they have a lot of like collateral damage. I really like them a lot. I think both of these were great additions. Revenants. I find Revenants very scary. Because they can deal a lot of they can deal 80 damage. They also die pretty quickly. You can get them with... I think the fact that you can kill them with 2 super shoddy blasts is a big buff. And I think that they mix up the formula a lot. They make you have to think about your movement more than pretty much any other enemy. So, I'm gonna put it there. They really force you to think about your movement. They often, a lot of mods use them like instead of imps. They become the default, which I don't love. I don't love them becoming the default, but I think they're a very interesting enemy that adds a lot to the game. And I like enemies that are high threat but aren't damage sponges. Cyberdemon. I gotta put Cyberdemon S tier somewhere. Cyberdemons are so iconic. I remember them being so terrifying as a kid. They are also the gods of infighting. In a lot of mods, they become your best ally. So I'd probably rather see a lot of these monsters than a Cyberdemon. But I think the fact, like, where the Cyberdemons sit on the hierarchy of enemies, I think they play a really important role. Because they are at the kind of near the peak of difficulty scaling, you know? Yeah, I like them. I think they're interesting. Okay. And well, we all know where Archvile is going. I feel like in people's lists, Archvile's either go in Z or SS. Wait, shouldn't the SS go up there? Okay. Archviles are the most interesting monster in Doom. Period. They are my favorite addition. They are scary as fuck. Their sound, they have the only sound that when you hear it, you're just like, you just feel dread. You're like, oh god. They can really shake up the flow of battle. I love that. Much like I think it's really important that demons die to one super shotgun blast for pacing, I think it's really important that Archviles die to one really well-placed BFG blast. So there's kind of a risk reward. Like, I like it when you have a tough enemy, a very, very, very dangerous enemy that you can take out of the mix if you're like, this is my goal right now. That's why I placed the chain gunner so high, that these are an enemy that are absolutely terrifying, absolutely threatening. They are kind of similar to pain elementals in a way, where they can cause big problems if left unattended, but you can get rid of them. Yeah, I just think they're a fundamentally very interesting enemy. So, this is my tier list. Okay. Let me know what you guys think. If you agree, if you disagree. And that's where I will leave this for now. So, thanks for joining me. If you enjoy, like and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Mwah!